Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel, I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to get out of debt and simplify our financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, so I know that you guys just saw a video from me on Monday, but it's actually been a little bit of time since I sat down and filmed anything. Just the way that my schedule worked out, I ended up filming the last cash stuffing that I did and then filming the bill condensing after that. And then I'm trying to remember what else I had. Oh, and then I did my shop announcement and stuff, and all that kind of stuff was batch filmed in a really short time frame. So it's actually been a long time since I sat down and filmed a video. So hi, I know that I also have been not negligent, what's the word I'm looking for? Absent in the comment section. That is going to be remedied very, very soon. That's largely because the response from you guys to my physical product launch in my Etsy shop was completely overwhelming. I'm so grateful to you guys for your support. I got a lot of orders in that first day, and I had to just hunker down and get them all done. And unfortunately, that was to the detriment of spending time with you guys in the comments. But as of filming this, I was able to ship out my first batch of orders. Ship out my first batch of orders. And now I have a much more manageable backlog sort of waiting for me. So I'm going to be able to get back into the swing of things here now and spend more time with you guys in the comments and reply to everything. I do kind of scroll through them every morning while I'm sipping on my coffee. But I just haven't had the time to really dig in and reply to the comments the way that I like to. So I did see though, so many of you are Gilmore Girls fans like I am, and Friends fans. A lot of you have mentioned that. And just also so supportive and excited for me for reaching 3,000 subscribers as well. So thank you guys always for your continued support. It's so incredible to me that we've built this community here, and I get to spend time with you guys on a weekly basis. It's just so much fun. Anyway, today we are getting right back into it with my paper slanting. I'm sorry, I have not had a chance to redo my nails, but I mean, as you can imagine, I've been making envelopes like a crazy woman. So anyways, we're going to get back into it with a weekly check-in. And I know that these videos are not my most popular or whatever, but they are a way of showing somebody who may be new to budgeting what that kind of looks like from just a weekly basis. And actually, I haven't done a weekly check-in at home in 2 weeks either. So this is going to be 2 weeks worth of expenses, but it's not, we really do try to control our spending because we are really trying to hunker down and pay down debt. So there's not too much here. So what I'm going to do is get you guys zoomed in. We'll go over all of the expenses and then go ahead and unstuff the cash. So I'll get you zoomed in. Okay. So we are in the month of June. Whoop. Okay. Well, is that going to cooperate with me? We're in the month of June, and there are some June purchases, but like I mentioned, this is the last 2 weeks of stuff. So, oh, I'm just looking at my cheat sheet off to the side here. Yeah, so this is the last 2 weeks of purchases. So there will be some May expenses in here, but it just, sometimes it's just how the cookie crumbles, and this is how we hold each other accountable. This is how you hold yourself accountable, by tracking your expenses and making sure that you're not going over budget and all that kind of stuff. So let's just get stuck right into it. We had on the 25th, so 5/25, We had a Trader Joe's purchase. So Trader Joe's, and unlike my typical Trader Joe's purchases that are all groceries, this was part grocery and part gifts. So I picked up some flowers for my kids' teachers. So let me, actually, you know what? Yeah. Okay. So the total purchase price, hold on, let me check, was $57.63. And so I'm going to cross out the category since this is multiple categories. For those of you who are unfamiliar, if I have multiple categories from one purchase, I put the total amount of the purchase here, and then I break down what, how much money comes from the different categories. So this was gifts and groceries. And the gifts was oh my gosh, where did it go? $25.96. And then the grocery amount was $31.67. And I think I just have to pay the gifts back. I'm sorry, I'm like so discombobulated today. So I just have to pay the gifts back to the bank. So I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that. For those of you who don't know, I'm sorry. I'm like behaving as if everybody knows what's happening here. So this weekly check-in is where I track my expenses from the last week, and anything that is a debit or online transaction that I cash pull for, I have to put that money back into the bank because, you know, you can't just like pull from your bank account that you usually cash stuff for. So that money goes back to the bank so that you don't overdraw your account. Today is Interrupt Mom Day. I can feel it. Anyway, like I was saying, I realized that I haven't done this in 2 weeks, but I've mentioned this before. My husband and I leave our bills and expenses in our bank account, and they serve as our buffer so that if we do a debit card purchase for something that we usually cash pull for, that money is kind of in there to act as a buffer until we pay ourselves back. And so that's why it's not a terribly big deal that I haven't done this in 2 weeks. So that being said, let me pop down to the next expense here. So it was on the 26th, and it was from Walmart. And this is also from the gifts category because we bought my son a little gift for the end of the school year for what? I can't remember. Oh, because he made AB honor roll for the entire school year. So, you know, we were kind of proud. So we went and picked him up. His like big thing right now is Pokemon cards. So we picked him up some Pokemon cards. And so the total was $14.03. And I do need to pay this back to the bank as well, but I'm only going to be putting $14 and not $15. Usually we round up and then the change just kind of builds up a buffer as well. But when it's 3 cents like this, we just do the $14 because the 3 cents can just be pulled from the buffer that we build with the other change that goes into the bank. Next up was $5.27. And I'm just going to put work here because I don't want to put where I work, but that's where this purchase came from. And so this is also from gifts. I bought my mom something for Father's Day. I know that's going to sound weird. For those of you who may be new to my channel, my dad passed away about 1.5 years ago. And I work at a place that sells some things that my dad would really like. And so I purchased something for my mom, but for Father's Day, like in honor of my dad. And so that's what this was. And so the total was $20.78, and this also needs to be paid back to the bank. Gifts really took a hit this month, let me tell you. Next up is $5.28, and this is from a store called Armbar Soap. So I've mentioned this before, and if you've seen any of my budget with me's, you'll know. My husband and son do they train jujitsu, and jujitsu, like wrestling or anywhere else that has like mats, is a place where you can pick up like fungal things and like ringworm and all that kind of stuff. And this brand actually sells soaps that kind of are, what's the word I'm looking for? Like disinfecting. Is that the word? No, I'm not using the right word here, but they sell soaps that really help to make sure that those like infections and stuff can't set into your skin. And so whenever, like my husband buys like 5 or 6 bars of this soap at a time, and he takes them with him to jujitsu so that he can use their showers afterward and immediately use this soap, because it's really good for getting rid of that kind of, like, if that stuff gets on your skin, it helps get rid of that. And it works because he's never picked up ringworm before. So it was time for him to purchase this again. And so this comes from Toiletries, and it's $29.36. And I know that might seem crazy to some of you for soap, and it certainly is crazy for soap, but it actually does what it says it's going to do, and it lasts him a really long time. This is the first time you've ever seen this purchase on my channel, and I have had my channel since January. So, you know, $30 every 6 months or so, or 7 months or so, or whatever, is not that big of a deal. So we pay it because it works. And I am going to have to pay that back to the bank. These are all debit purchases, by the way. So under the type category, by the way, I do have this expense tracker available for digital download in my shop. I have seen some folks mention in comments, and oh, that was my ice machine, in comments, and like I've seen it in reviews on my shop, that they wish that this was available for a physical product purchase. The problem with that is, the reason why I make this available for digital download is because then you can print it as many times as you want. I am preliminarily looking into creating my own budget like planner, but that is like in the distant future. Right now, this is what I have available to you guys. I use these on my channel, but I use them in real life too. And being able to like print them physically and send them to you wouldn't really be beneficial, because if you're anything like me, you need a ton of expense tracking sheets, and there's no real way of like being able to effectively do that in the shop without just having a budget planner available. And I don't have that capability right now. So that's why I have it available for digital download, so that you can print it as much as you like. So anyway, moving on to the next expense here. And it was a debit purchase. It was on the 30th, I think. Yeah, the 30th. And it was at Starbucks. And this is coming from my husband's envelope because he treated me to coffee this day. So I just refilled our Starbucks app that we use, because you get points and stuff on there. And this is going to be coming from his envelope. He took me on a little mini Starbucks date, so that was fun. Next up was on the 30th, and it was at Target. You all knew we were not going to get out of a weekly check-in video without a Target purchase. Like, let's be real with each other here. It was a gifts purchase. Guys, I really don't even remember what this is for, because it was $8. Like, I have no clue. And what a like perfectly round number. Is that even real? Anyway, I have no idea where that came from. It was too far away at this point. Okay, so next up was also from Target, and this is our big one where it's my grocery shopping day, and it's split up into a bunch of different categories, et cetera, et cetera. And so the total purchase for this one was $77.11, and the categories that it broke down into were Target, which is the money that we earmark in our grocery budget every month for groceries from Target, and that was $53.62. And then household for $23.49. And this is the one that needs to be paid back to the bank, the household. purchase. Also, oh, no. This is going to look crazy because it's like a bunch. This is another Target purchase. So, a debit purchase on the 31st, also Target. And I actually remember what this was. So this also came from Target. I'm going to tell you guys such a funny story because my husband just laughed at me. He was with us. So it was for $9.49. We had gone through the grocery store or we had gone through Target and made our purchases. And then when we were leaving the store, we walked past this display of, oh my gosh, I just realized also that like I'm not really in frame. I'm so sorry, guys. So we walked past this display of these freeze pops that I like to buy my kids because they look like the ones, I'm gonna date myself here. So I'm an 80s baby and I came of age in the 90s, but you'll know the little freeze pops, like the colorful ones, they came in like blue and green and pink and orange and I feel like some other colors. Anyway, they're the ones that come in like the little plastic, thing. And then you just like, you keep pushing it up and you eat them or whatever. Anyway, if you remember those, tell me what your favorite color was in the comments. Mine was pink. I loved the pink flavored one. I also liked the blue flavored one, but pink was my favorite. Anyway, I am one of those annoying moms who does not let her kids have food coloring. So, no judgment if you do. This is just something that we have noticed with our kids, especially my daughter. She is on the spectrum, and we have noticed some significant behavioral issues when she has food coloring. And so we were able to alleviate those things for her by eliminating food coloring from her diet. And so that's what we do. And there's this brand called Johnny Pops that Target carries. They also make like fudge sickles and stuff like that you can get in the freezer section. But every year around this time, they usually put out those little freeze pops that look like the ones that we grew up with like in the 80s. I know not just the 80s, they still have them now, but if you want to talk about something that defines your childhood, that's definitely something for me. And anyway, so Johnny Pops makes their own version of these that have far fewer flavors, but they don't have food coloring in them. And so I have been scouring Target and looking for them ever since we kind of started hitting the warmer weather. And I passed a huge display of them. And so I said to my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for these to come in for forever. I'm going to buy them. And so he's like, okay. So he took the kids and the groceries out to the car. I went back through checkout, and that's what this purchase is right here. There is your long convoluted story time with Veda for the day. We all knew it was going to happen at some point. And so that is what that purchase was. So, I don't just like spend all of my days in Target. I pinky swear. Sorry. Got to take a little sip here. Excuse me. This is, drinks with Veda too. This is kombucha. I have about a half a bottle every single day because it's really good for your gut health. Anyway. Okay. I told you I was going to be Interrupt Mom Day. I got interrupted again. Anyway, I think I was just talking about my kombucha. Anyway, kombucha is really good for you. I'm like a big health nerd. It's taken me years and years and years to figure out what makes my body not unhappy. And so if I'm ever asked about health related things, I do like to share, but kombucha is one of my things. Anyway, next up on the list is, let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. So it was also on the 31st, and it was PayPal. I mean, I can tell you the store. It's called Alan Edmonds. So the total purchase was $247.71. And if you watched my very last budget with me, you will know that I said that we had to buy my husband some new dress shoes because the ones that he had finally wore out. And this brand, Alan Edmonds, is a really, really well done dress shoe maker. I understand spending this much money on shoes might be crazy to most of you. But if my husband and I have learned anything in our, I don't even know, how long have we been married? 16 years. We've been married 16 years. So if we've learned anything in our 16 years of marriage, it's that you really do sometimes get what you pay for. And he will likely never need to buy another pair of brown dress shoes. The pair that broke were not the ones that were not this brand. But I mean, he's still got a lot of wear out of the last ones. I don't want to make it sound like the last ones were garbage. Like we generally tend to steer away from super cheapy things, but this is a really great company. And we had that escrow money come in that we were kind of really not expecting. And so, these had just broken like a week before that escrow check was something that we found out about. So he was like, oh, I'll just kind of save up for them over time. And then when this came in, I was like, okay, you can use some of your money, but then let's also use the escrow check for it. So that's how we broke this down. So we took, I think $100. Yeah. Excuse me. So it's $100 that's going to come from my husband's envelope, and that I do have to pay back to the bank. And then the other one is the clothes category for, what did I say? $147.71. This is not currently in our envelope because I haven't stuffed from that escrow check yet. So it's just going to, I'm going to account for this before my first cash stuffing, which you guys will see on Monday. Anyway, but I do have to pull the $100 for my husband. So this is just how we chose to break it up, was to call some of it from clothes and then some of it from his. That's just how we're choosing to do it. It would be difficult. To sit here and explain all of our reasoning and logic and stuff behind it would just be silly. But this is what we've chosen to do and how we've chosen to do it. So next up was on the 3rd. This was a debit purchase, and I'm just going to write beach here because I'm certainly not going to give away specifically where we went. This comes from Family Fun, and it was $20. So you have to pay. They give out so many passes at this particular lake beach that we go to. They give out a certain amount of passes, day passes. And so we decided to go on that day. And so it cost $20. And so I'm going to have to pay that back from Family Fun. We're almost done, guys, I promise. On the 5th, I'm just going to write candy store because I don't want to give away the actual name of the candy store because I think it's it's like a small, it's not like a well-known, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. When you have multiple, it's not a chain. It's not a chain candy store. It's just an individual small business. And this is being pulled from Work Food. And this is another fun story. So it's $5.98. It was actually $35.98. I have to tell you guys this story. I'm sorry. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. So you're just getting 2 very long stories today. And I'm only a little bit sorry. So I've mentioned before, I work at a museum, and every now and then we work in an area, our museum is in an area where there's lots of other shops and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And so every now and then a customer will come in to the museum, and in order to go through the museum, they'll ask if they can put their bags behind the counter so that they're not walking around the museum, holding a bunch of bags from other shops and things. And a customer left a bag from this candy store full of taffy, and they never came back for it. And we waited, I think 2 days before I was the brave one to dig into, because I was we're just sitting here and staring at this taffy. I realized I just talked about health and wellness and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm and then I ripped into the bag of taffy. Life's about balance. Anyway, so I tried this taffy, and let me tell you, I am not a taffy person. If I'm going to have a piece of candy, I would much rather have a Reese cup or some Snickers or something. And I am not a sweets and treats. I avoid them at all costs. My diet would blow you guys' mind. Not because I'm, so perfect and strict. It's because the way that I have to eat in order to help my body function best is very, very strict. But every now and then, sometimes you just want a Reese cup, Anyway, so I'm like, we're staring at this taffy for 2 days, and I finally break into the bag and I try one, and it was so good, which leads me to believe that it was absolutely full of the most toxic, offensive chemicals and sugar known to man, but it's okay. So over the course of like 2 weeks, my coworkers and I have been like nibbling away at this taffy and eating it and just absolutely loving it. And so on this day, one of my coworkers who also enjoyed the candy, I think just as much as I did, we were the ones to finish the bag off. And while we were standing there, a customer walks in with a bag full of taffy from this store. And I said to her, oh my gosh, what if she accidentally leaves her taffy bag here and then we have taffy for another 2 weeks? Well, my coworker's face lit up like it was Christmas morning. She just looked so cute, and like the level of excitement at the idea that this other customer might leave this taffy behind was so sweet and just endearing. So I was like, hold on. So I Googled like candy store near us or whatever, and found out that this candy store was just right around the corner from our museum. So I gave her my credit card and I sent her to get more taffy. So like 20 minutes goes by, and then she walks back in the door and she has this sheepish look on her face, and she holds up this bag. And guys, I have to tell you, there must have been 3 or 4 pounds, maybe 5, of taffy in this bag. It was so full. And I was like, oh my gosh, Clarissa, what did you do? She was like, I'm going to have to sell you money. And I said, why? Like, I'll pay for it. It's not a big deal. And she said, no, Veda, I spent $35 on taffy. Well, I was cracking up at her. I could not believe that she spent $35 on taffy. And I said, no, like, she's such a sweet girl. She's such a hard worker. I'm like, I will treat you guys. This will just be everybody's taffy. Like, everybody's going to be able to eat it. It's fine, And she said, no, I'm going to sell you money. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Just let me be the person who buys it. Well, don't you know, that little stinker, she zelled me $30. So I'm only left to have to actually pay back $5.98 or $6 from work food because she didn't listen to me. And I haven't worked with her since I got that Zelle from her. So she is in for talking to the next time I see her. But anyway, so that's why... that's my story of $35 of taffy at the candy store. Guys, it's so good. I almost want to go to the candy store and just buy a bunch of this taffy and then throw it in as a freebie, like at my Etsy shop. But I'm also so worried that like it would melt along the way and then it would ruin whatever you ordered from me. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this, but the candy is so good. We'll think about it. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry that this is like the chattiest check-in known to man. Okay, so here we go. So next up, there's only 2 purchases left. So next up was on the 6th, and it was Starbucks. And this was actually, my husband was buying his coffee beans. He grinds his own and makes, he does like pour over coffee for himself every day. Me, I am a cold brew girl. I make my own cold brew, but my husband does pour over hot coffee for himself every day. And he buys whole beans for that. And so he needed more beans. And where do we pull this? This is grocery. And I actually don't have to pay this one back because it all like came out in the wash with the escrow check. So we just kind of sorted it out that way. And it was just, he just refilled our Starbucks card. So it was $20. And then last but not least, I'm sure you're all thrilled, was Target. I swear I don't live here. I pinky promise you guys. So the total was $103.42. And it was Target for $100, and then grocery for $3.42. And this, I'm actually just gonna throw a fiver back at the bank because I don't know why we decided that, but that's what we decided. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys back out. We will add up all of the money that I'm going to be cash pulling, figure out what we are going to be taking back to the bank, and then unstuff the cash. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is grab my calculator here and then just add up all of the purchases that have an asterisk next to them so that I can figure out how much money I should have at the end of this. And then we will go ahead and get to the unstuffing portion of the video. So I'm probably just going to speed you guys through this while I add it up, and then I'll bring you back once I have our total. Okay, so our total at the end of this is going to be $269. So let's just go ahead and get stuck in here. I realized while I was adding all of this up that I accidentally put an asterisk here, and that is not correct. So I'm going to get rid of that. So first up, I have to re-add. Hold on. Okay, it's gonna be $289. There we go. Okay, so from grocery, I think I remember telling you guys that I said I was gonna do $5 for this, and then I have this $20 up here, and that's what we have left in groceries is $25. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that out and put it there. And I am going to put a check mark there and a check mark there. And then let's see, let me just scan my little asterisks. Okay, so in toiletries, this is gonna be one where we have a little bit of wonkiness because, let's see. Okay, I have $10 left in toiletries and I have to pay $30. Oh my gosh, y'all, this day. Okay, so my battery died. So fortunately it didn't die like too long before I caught it, but I've pulled out the grocery money and the toiletries money, and that was it. So I did catch it before I got too far into doing this, and then it would have just been tragic. So next up, we will just go into low priority sinking funds because we have a little bit of money to pull from my husband. So 15 here, and then where did it go? 100 down here. So we're gonna pull 115 from his. And oh boy. Okay, I might need to, so the closest I have is 150. I needed 115, so 150 minus 115. So, 35. Okay, I'll be able to make change actually with what we have here. So 20, that's all of this, I think. Hold on. 25, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay. So we'll just return this to my husband. All right. Right? Yes. And so now my husband has 150, 75, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. So 192 in my husband's envelope now. And we have 150 here. Let me go ahead and cross these off because I just want to make sure that we are hitting everything that we need to get to. I think work food is in here too. Work food and family fun. Let me just, before we move on to gifts. Oh, you know what? I didn't pull from household, and household is in high priority. I don't have my dashboards in here, by the way, because I made dashboards when I was showing you guys what physical products were coming to my shop launch, and I made them too big. So I just adjust my sizing. All of the dashboards that I sell now, whenever they are sent out to you, are sent out to you so that they can fit in an A6 binder like this. Mine were too big. So I just haven't replaced them yet because, you know what they say, like plumbers have terrible plumbing. Well, people who make envelopes and dashboards on Etsy don't actually have dashboards or something. Anyway, let me pop into household. So I need to grab 24 from there. I went too far. Poor toiletries. Poor sad and toiletries. Okay. What did I just say? I think I said 24. Okay, so 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, so we're going to be shy a little bit. I need to remember this. So I'm going to make a little note. I told you it's Interrupt Mom Day. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note next to toiletries. So I only had 10, I needed 30. So I'm gonna just put minus 20. And then next to household, I only had 20 and I needed 24. So I'm gonna do minus 4, just so that I know not to stuff $20 in toiletries and $4 in household. Because every now and then we will do that where if we've overspent in a category, but we're gonna be stuffing it, like cash stuffing it that next week, we just won't put as much in the envelope that next week. So that's what we did. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put a check mark next to that. And then let me just go down, because now I think we're in low priority sinking funds. So I need to pull from family fun and work food in here. So dine out. Oh my gosh, this is how my husband leaves envelopes sometimes. That's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, work food, I need to return, I think $6, yeah. So 5, 6. And, oops. That leaves us with 25, 26, 27. So 27 now in work food, which is nice on the off chance that I wanna do another taffy bread. I won't, but it's the thought that counts or something. Here we go. And then I'll just go ahead and put a little check mark next to work food. And then let me pop back to family fun. There we go. And just pull 20 from there and put a check mark next to that. So let me see now. I think we just have gifts left. So that's gifts. What's this one? Gifts. And that's it. So yeah, so that is in our holiday sinking funds envelope. Now let me just, because we all know I can't do math, let me just add all of this up to figure out what I need to return here. I think that's it. So 69 from gifts is what I gotta pull. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay, my husband must have done something there. So 20, 40, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Okay, I am not, so 20, 40, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 68. I'm not gonna break this 100. I am just gonna indicate that we're $1 short and we can pull it from our little buffer. Interrupt Mom Day strikes again. I told you guys, I knew this was gonna happen. So anyways, I think I was saying, I'm just gonna pull $1 from our buffer that's in our checking account because I'm not gonna break that 100. And this was the 60, this is 68 and we needed 69. So I am not about to break 100 for that. This will do exactly what we need it to do. And, you know, anyway, so what we should have here is the 289 minus the 20 from toiletries, the 4 from household, and then the $1 from gifts. So actually, I can't even do that math in my brain. So 289 minus, that's 25. Oh gosh, no, that's not right. 289 minus 25. So 264 is what we should have here. So 150, 70, 90, 210, 230, 45, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 260, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 264. So that's a very long, convoluted way of getting around to where we needed to get to at the end, but we did get there. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for all of your support and for tuning into my videos and supporting my shop and watching the ads for those of you who do that. It's so appreciated. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And, you know, as I said before, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would so love it if you did. and just kind of join the community that we have here. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And then I will see you on Monday with the cash stuffing and the announcement of the 3 winners of my 3K giveaway. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.